The O'Briens, they're close enough, tight-knit family. Susan, the eldest, she's in it since she was 17 or 18. She'd be working, what am I saying, she's in it since she was tiny.
I think I was 7, and where I started out was in a tiny little hut, you could call it. Mom would always go and pick up the other 3 kids at school, but she'd leave me in the hut with a blanket on my knee because it was so cold, before she would come back and then relieve me of my duties. From a very young age, it was all about Island Ferries, and any of our summers were spent in the offices or on the boats.
Susan, my eldest sister, is the general manager of the company. She's really the top dog, I suppose you could call her. My sister Sharon, then, she's in charge of accounts. I'm the operations manager, and I'm in charge of the seaside of the operations, and then Neil, the youngest of us, is in charge of the shoreside operations of the company. I do enjoy working with my family. It does get stressful at times, and because it's a family-run business, unfortunately, work comes home with you and you never get away with it. Sometimes you wonder how you still be married, but I still am. I don't know why.
The flagship is the Tony, and it all revolved around her. It started with my grandfather back in the day, predominantly turf they were using, and then he passed it on to my uncle Martin and my father Paddy.
Amacint maideg sa cúg nó nídeg sa sé nuair a mar sin cheanna na bréanna an Tony. Tá mé cinnte gur sí sa gláán ride nídeg agus a hocht, má bhrú sí rá sa cáilú le gún chasla a nídeg agus a hocht.
When my grandfather died in 1970, he was only 53. So as a young family he left behind, my father was only 20, I think, and the youngest was 10. So he left a young family behind, and they kept the Tony going. I know that my grandfather told my uncle Martin, this is on his deathbed, if you can keep her, do, but if you have to sell her to put food on the table. Hasn't all been rosy along the way, I guess you could say. But one thing that might have kept them going is my grandfather is buried in a graveyard by the sea. Every time they go up the bay or down, they're going by it, and I think that would give them hope, I guess.
Tra deachcuid ó an náte dánig mu déit, gan éir thuirtí sin na rénos, mar amach tadal an symbolí gan síla bhí ag muintir siar sna glúnta siar. So ag tre sé glún siar in seo has sé de pléile ho bardós.
My parents would have worked very hard, and I think their drive and stubbornness really to get through and to beat a lot of competition along the way, because there was a lot of companies, good companies along the way. They outlasted them all and bought some of them out, and they're still here anyways, and thanks to them that we're still going.
We don't have a more important customer. Each set of passengers have their own needs. The Islanders in particular are very important to our business because they are our year-round customer. Without them during the winter time, we would struggle a little bit to keep going. So it's definitely very important, not just from an economic point of view, but also because we know them as we know them and for so long, it's important that we make sure that they know that we appreciate them.
Tá chuile on the bride, really. Tá na béal on the bride, tá na labas breakfast the bride, tá nóst on the bride, tá chuile on breor on the bride.
So back in 1983, when the company was established, it was a 15-metre boat. The Dunangus she was called, and 48 passengers she could carry. Today we have 6 big ferries, and they can take a total capacity of 1,800. The biggest of them is this one. We built her last year especially for a new route from Galway docks. She's 40 metres and she can carry 400. She's a bit of a beast on the sea. She's a good weather boat. We've probably about 100 people in the summers part-time working, probably about 40, 45 in the winter full-time. I think it's important to the area to have such a business because it helps, like, to keep the economy going in the local area, and we employ a lot of people from the island as well. They know the area, they know the seas, they're well used to it. A lot of them would have previous experience on the sea, and it's important for us to have good seamen on the boat to be able to handle her coming into the pier and to tie her up and to do it safely.
So when we decided to get this boat built, we had it in mind that, you know, the world is going green, and we had to, even though the technology isn't quite there yet, she's designed with the future in mind and being able to retrofit her for the technologies coming in the future.
I guess we would be proud to be where we are, but that's not why we did it. I think it's instilled in us to be hard-working people, Connemara people. Everyone around is a bit like that, just trying to give the best service possible for the islanders. It's their motorway, say, so we have to maintain their service as well.
The future for Island Ferries is bright. There are many grandchildren coming up, and between them, I'm sure that some of them will stay in the business.
We're only holding on to it for now, and hopefully we'll give it away better than when we got it.